Hey, welcome back to the Alex Weber Show. I'm Alex Weber, and this is all about achievement. I love achievement, aspirations, goals. To me, I think it is one of the cooler things about life. To me, it means that you have decided that something matters, which we'll unpack, but most of life does not matter. And then you have decided for whatever reason that this business goal, this health and wellness goal, running a 5K or rekindling the spark, the romance, the love in a relationship, it matters to you. And then you've decided to give yourself to going after it. And what I believe is so cool is that the gifts are in the journey. And we're going to unpack these things here. Now, I said that I feel like a life of achievement. My achievement bucket, my creds, my stat sheet. You know, I've competed on NBC American Ninja Warrior. Before that, I hosted for NBC American Ninja Warrior, won an award as a host, was doing the sport, and became a competitor. I've been an acclaimed author. I won U.S. Lacrosse Coach of the Year, winning championships in my first season. I played D1 lacrosse, All-American, set a world record. I love goals. I do. And I think what I love about it is a few things. One, nothing matters. Nothing matters in this reality. It doesn't, except what you decide matters. And then when you have decided that something matters to you, it matters a lot. Now, maybe that decision that something matters to you is because of what it does in your life. It's opportunities that it unlocks or abundance or financial mile markers, or maybe it's what it does for other people you can provide for family, or maybe you've just always had this dream. You can't put your finger on it, but you've just always had this desire or this dream, or maybe it feels like it's something bigger than you that planted this seed within you, this calling to go after. Whatever it came from, once it is in our heart, our soul, our orbit, that, oh, we want this. To me, the only choice that we have is how much of your humanness, your 100% capabilities of focus, of energy, of care, of commitment, of giving your being to it, do we do? Because we might delay and kind of, give into our fears and limitations, and I've definitely done that in my life, and we let time go by, but we still want this thing. Even if we're giving 0% of ourselves to it, well, okay, we might be starting to build some regret or some self-loathing. Okay, but what if we do decide to go after it, but we're humans and it hasn't been going that great, so we dim it down and we go 60%, or we go after it and then we take some time off and then it eats at us and we go after it again. I've been there too. I don't think there's any backing off. Once we've decided that something matters to us, we either have to decide two things. One, can we give 100% of ourselves to going after it, all of our humanness, our human capacity, capabilities, potential? And then two, if not, why? And can we live with not doing it? I know that I've had a big dream of stand-up comedy. And when I was living in LA, I was coaching high school lacrosse, then I was doing TV hosting, and I had this honest moment because I was doing my dream adjacent. I did improv comedy, and then I was producing some comedy shows and doing sketch comedy videos. But what I wanted to do was get on a stage, tell jokes into a microphone in front of a live audience. And I had this moment where I was like, okay, that's my dream. I have this dream existing in me, and we have a lot of dreams, but this is one dream for me. So I can either do it, or I said to myself, Alex, you don't have to do it, but you do have to be okay that you are going to regret this on your deathbed. Is that heavy? Maybe. You know what else is heavy? Goals. Goals are hard. And sometimes we need to bring what I call deathbed energy, which means, God willing, you get to an age where you can peacefully leave this earth. If you're there, what would you have wished you had done? What would you have wished you got after and gave your 100% human capabilities to? And if we can really go to that moment of having that brave honesty of, wow, I wish I had done that. And then we can, boom, transport back into this moment of reality, and we have that opportunity to, I think we need to bring that energy and that urgency. And to be honest with you, that's so much of why I'm doing this podcast. I've wanted an outlet to just share and talk about these things. And I kept regretting and almost having some self-loathing feelings towards myself because I wasn't doing it. So I'm going to be imperfect at this podcast. I'm not going to nail the mark every time. I'm sure I'm going to be cringy at times or just flat out fail. That's okay, because we're in the land of doing. And that's the next thing. We have to be okay in the land of doing. Now, once we're in the land of doing, trying, succeeding, failing, we're in it. And so many good things happen in it. I mean, I learned this in stand-up comedy where I just started to go into the land of doing. I just showed up at stand-up comedy shows, and I remember I would hang out after and talk to comics and try to befriend them, and they're like, dude, who are you? But after a few weeks of doing that, I did start to make some friendships. I started to put on this cool indie comedy show and then was fortunate to meet Kyle K.A. and other amazing people. And we started Don't Tell Comedy, which he has led to be such a powerhouse in the world today, and good things happen. I got to perform stand-up comedy all around the country, all around the world. And it led the foundation to what I do now in keynote speaking. But we have to be okay in the land of doing. I know for me with stand-up comedy, I know for me with American Ninja Warrior, these things are hard. And as I started to do it, I sucked. But I quickly realized that if I'm beating myself up so much, I'm critiquing, I'm judging, I'm honestly being ruthless with beating myself up, I'm not going to keep doing this. If I keep caring so much about what other people may or may not, because who knows, be thinking about me, I'm not going to keep showing up. So we got to give ourselves grace as we go through this. Grace to me just means don't beat the crap out of yourself. If it didn't go well, okay, be fired up. You can be pissed off. There's firepower in that. But if you're trying to go to bed at night and you are just replaying the greatest hits of your worst, horrible fails and awful moments and feeling down upon yourself, you got to ask, what is the value in it, right? If we're being objective and we're trying to get to a goal, milk the shortcoming or the tough moment, milk it for the firepower and the motivation, yes. But is there value, addition, support in beating the crap out of yourself? And if not, maybe move on from it. Now, something that I've also learned so much in this journey of going for goals is there's so many gifts in it. I call it the matrix of results, but really what it means is there's just a lot of gifts in going after goals. Some of those gifts mean you give the best of yourself to going after this leadership position, or you've got an idea for a business that you've always wanted to start, or you want to cultivate more good friendships, or you want to strengthen a relationship, or just feel better in your health and wellness. Literally anything. You decide, you realize, okay, this matters, and then you choose to give the best of yourself to it. On that journey, you're going to be given gifts. Now, some of those gifts are going to be simply experiences that you wouldn't have had. How cool. You're going to enrich. You're going to learn lessons. And with that, you're going to grow, which is the second category of gifts. You're going to have growing elements. You will learn things about yourself. You'll foster new skills and abilities. Maybe you'll obtain empathy or grit or hunger or humility or resourcefulness just by going after this. And in doing things, in going after, you're going to meet people. You're going to have relationships, and we're going to have all different types of them. You're going to meet someone and absolutely despise them. And then you're going to meet someone and become fast friends. You're going to meet someone and work with them. Maybe you'll date them. Who knows? You're going to have relationships. And the last gift, I believe, is opportunities. By doing this thing, going after this goal, mile marker, achievement, simply by going after it, you are going to unlock a next opportunity that could never have been unlocked unless you embarked on this journey. You couldn't reach it. You couldn't touch it. Most likely, you couldn't even see it from where we were starting. It took your bravery to go after this unpromised goal. And in doing that, you get the reward of the next thing. I think that it is one of the most meaningful and fulfilling aspects of life. And I also, in the seasons of my life when I have not had something to channel myself towards, something to give myself towards, a goal, a focus, a dream, I've then found that that energy or that idle time has often gone towards things that were not great for me. Now, maybe those were easy comfortabilities, like watching too much Netflix or a scroll hole, fine. Or maybe it was vices, having too much recreation or turning to a substance or things like that, because I didn't feel that North Star pulling me forward. Now, I also want to say here, I have given my life to achievements, and there's been a big moment, 2020 specifically, when in my life, it all went away in a night. It was the night before competing on American Ninja Warrior 2020. My mom was there at stage 4 cancer. She was going to be my guest of honor. They postponed the event. 2 days later, I broke my hand. All work was canceled, all speaking events, which is my purpose. I was going through a breakup, and I gave up. Now, there was a lot of things that played into it, but that was one of the most deeply depressed seasons of my life. Now, having goals and dreams and achievements is what helped me come out of that, and really good people that I met through those journeys, some of the Ninja Warriors, some old friends, my mom, my dad, my family. That's what helped me through it. But I also want to talk about self-worth and being enough. Because for so much of my life, I have felt like I would only be enough if I achieved this next thing. Whether that was high school All-American or D1 lacrosse, or then being a famous TV host, or now even in my work, reaching that next level of impact. To quote John Candy in Cool Runnings, if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. Yeah. I love going after things because it is such a healthy, it channels the best of ourselves. We meet good people, we get fulfillment, we get growth. It's a good thing for human beings, I think, to have something we care about and to be useful for it. And whether that thing is building this amazing, successful business, whether this thing is building this amazing, successful family or this version of yourself, the goal changes. But what it does for us is such a blessing. It's such a gift. It's such a transformative experience. And the only choice that we have is how much of ourselves do we give to it. And we may achieve this thing, we may not, or it might turn out different than we even expected. And can we be enough? Can we be okay with ourselves no matter how that result shakes out? It's not easy. It's not easy. But that is a journey that I've been going on, is how do I feel enough? How do I feel confident? How do I feel proud of myself, have love for myself, even if I'm not achieving? I'm on the journey. I don't have an answer for that. But I think we're supposed to be of use. I think that we as human beings want purpose. I mean, I found in my life, I've really struggled with happiness. But the most that I've ever felt good was when I'm in purpose. And so for me, you'll rarely hear me talk about happy because I've really struggled with that. I mean, I get it. I smile, I'm positive, I'm energetic. I love life. I really do. And I'm really hard on myself. I have really dark, awful thoughts and feel terrible about myself and my confidence and a lot. So I just feeling okay. Feeling okay, like maybe I'm allowed to relax or like I'm battles with shame. So I'm on the journey. And happiness to me has felt very elusive, and almost I have contempt because I'm like, why can't I be happy? I remember playing college lacrosse and I was in the locker room and there was a guy smiling before we went and played a game. And I remember thinking, I was so envious. I go, what is that like to be excited and happy and joyful in this state? Because all that was going through my being was, I want to perform. I need to perform perfectly. And when I didn't, I would crush myself. So for me, now, in these last stages of life, I have tried less to be happy and tried more to be of purpose, to do things where I feel of use, where I feel like I'm helping people or doing something that is worthy, like it's real. It matters. And sometimes that mattering is going over a buddy's and helping him move a couch. You know, it doesn't always have to be climbing Everest or something crazy type A ambitious. Sometimes it's texting a friend or a loved one and saying, hey, I love you and I'm thinking about you. That's an amazing giving of use and purpose. And in doing that, that is what's helped me feel better and happier. But when I've tried to chase happiness, I have missed the mark every time. I am now in a period of looking at what are the real deep, true desires, goals, dreams, visions that I have in my soul that I can't wrestle with anymore. They're there. I can try to compartmentalize them away. I can try to rationalize or say someday. They're there. And I wonder what's in your heart. Really, what is in there that you really want? You want it in your career. You want it in your impact. You want it in your relationships. You want it for yourself. You want it for the people that you touch. What is that? And just how I started this, once we bravely come to terms with it's in there, then the choice that you and I have is, are we going to go after it or not? And if not, why? And can we be okay with gnawing regret that will always remind us that we didn't? What if we did just go all in on this? And what might that look like? What might the first step of going all in, knowing that momentum builds, knowing that there's going to be gifts in the journey, no matter how this shakes up, good, bad, ugly, weird, different than we imagine, no matter the result, knowing that there's going to be so many gifts for you and me in this journey of pursuit. I'm getting fired up. I love you. I would love to hear what is percolating, what's popping in your heart. Message me at I'm Alex Weber. Emails Alex at I'm Alex Weber. I'll give you my freaking phone number. Just message me. I want to hear from you. I want to build a community of inspired people who want to live a great life in all areas of their lives. And this is really deeply special to me to have this chance, this outlet to share. So I appreciate you being here. Share this episode with anyone. Please let me know if you listen. That would fulfill my fulfillment loop so I'm not talking into the void. And I want to hear from you. And we'll be right back here. If there's episode ideas you'd like to hear, talk, we'll bring on guests too. And this is just a space to share about what matters most in life. I love you, and I'll see you back here. This is the Alex Weber Show. Boom.